Hi everybody, welcome to Electrogyani. Let's see what are the 30 must-know concepts on bipolar junction transistor. The first one is what is a BJT. Here B stands for bipolar, J is junction, T is transistor. This T is taken from transfer of resistor. This BJT is a 3-terminal device and these 3 terminals are emitter, base and collector. Since both electrons and holes contribute in current conduction, that's why this is a bipolar junction transistor. And there are two junctions, emitter base junction and collector base junction. Next is what is the basic principle of BJT? So the basic principle is the use of voltage between two terminals like emitter and base to control the current flowing in the third terminal, that is the collector current. Now what are the types of BJT and their circuit symbol? So there are two types of BJT, NPN BJT and PNP BJT, and these are the circuit symbols of NPN and PNP. Here you should note that this arrow is showing the direction of the current flow, not the electron. This is the current flow direction. So current flows from P to N, that's why the arrow will get reversed in PNP BJT. Question 4. What is the device structure of a BJT? This is very important. So BJT is a 3-terminal device, emitter, base and collector. Here I have taken example of NPN BJT. So the emitter region is of N type, base P type and collector region is of N type. And emitter region has the highest doping concentration while the base region has the lowest doping concentration. That means if we compare the doping concentration of three regions, then emitter has highest, then after the collector region and the least one is the base region. And here you should note that the area of the collector region is largest, then after the emitter region and the smallest region is of base region. Since collector collects most of the charge carriers, that's why its area is larger so that it can compensate the heat energy. Here the two junctions are emitter base junction and collector base junction. And the next is what are the BJT modes of operations? There are 4 modes of operation for BJT. First one is the cutoff where emitter base junction and collector base junction both are reverse biased, and in active mode of operation emitter base junction is forward biased while the collector base junction is reverse biased. And in reverse active the emitter base junction is reverse biased, collector base junction is forward biased. And in the saturation mode both the junctions are forward biased. Normally we use the cutoff, active and saturation mode of operations. Next, what type of device is BJT? So BJT is a current controlled current device. This equation where the emitter current is sum of collector current and base current is signifying that BJT is a current controlled current device. Next is write expression for collector current. So here collector current is given by this equation where Is is the reverse saturation current that we have already seen in the diode. So this reverse saturation current is inversely proportional to the base width and is directly proportional to the area of emitter base junction. It ranges from 10 to power minus 12 to 10 to power minus 18 ampere. Here VBE is the emitter base voltage, where VT is the thermal volt equivalent. Next is what is common emitter gain? It is given by the beta factor, which is the ratio of collector current and the base current. It is also called common emitter short circuit current gain when the base emitter voltage is 0. It ranges from 50 to 200 and this beta is inversely proportional to the width of base region, and also this beta is directly proportional to the concentration of acceptor and donor ions. This is for NPN BJT. Next is what is common base current gain? So common base current gain is given by alpha factor. It is the ratio of collector current and emitter current. It is also called as common base short circuit current gain when the collector base voltage is 0. it ranges from 0.94 to 0.99. Now what is the relation between common emitter and common base current gain? This is very important. So we can define this relation by this expression here, alpha is equals to beta upon 1 plus beta, or we can write beta is equals to alpha upon 1 minus alpha. That means for small changes in alpha correspond to very large change in beta. Next, draw Ebers-Moll model of NPN BJT. So this is the Ebers-Moll model of NPN BJT. This Ebers-Moll model is used to predict the operation of BJT in all of its possible modes, that is cutoff, forward active, reverse active and saturation mode. Here we have two back-to-back diodes. These represents junction of transistor, emitter base junction and collector base junction. And there are two controlled current sources indicate coupling between these two junctions. The alpha R is normally less than alpha F, where alpha F we have already seen it is a ratio of the collector current and emitter current, where alpha R is the ratio of emitter current and collector current. And also these currents IDE and IDC are the currents associated with this emitter based diode and collector based diode respectively, while alpha R IDC, this current, it is the portion of the IDC that is coupled through emitter to base. Similarly, alpha F IDE, this is the fraction of IDE current that is coupled through collector to base. Next is, what is thermal runaway condition? As collector base junction is reverse biased in active mode of operation, a reverse saturation current ICO exists. It constitutes of thermally generated holes of base and electrons of collector. It doubles for every 10 degree centigrade rise in temperature. During BJT working, this collector current increases, which causes collector base junction temperature to rise, which in turn increases ICO. And this increment of ICO contributes in increased collector current, which results in further rise of temperature. So this becomes a cycle. So this process is called self-heating or thermal runaway. It is possible that device may burns out. Next is, what is early effect or base width modulation? As collector base junction is reverse biased in active mode of operation, we all know this, the depletion region penetrates deeper into collector and base. Now, since doping of base is smaller than collector, this penetration of depletion region into base is much larger than collector, which reduces the effective width of base. This modulation of base width is known as early effect. It is given by J.M. Early. Now the consequences of this early effect is extremely large reverse voltage causes voltage breakdown in transistor. This phenomena is called punch through. Next question is, draw input characteristics of common emitter configuration. So in common emitter configuration, emitter terminal is common to input and output side, and input signal is provided at the base terminal and output is taken from collector terminal. So input characteristic is drawn between the base current and the base emitter voltage. Now this is a simple forward diode characteristic. Now if we increase this collector emitter voltage, then this current will goes down, and the input resistance is given by the change in base emitter voltage and the change in base current. Now draw output characteristics of common emitter configuration. As just I have told you that the output is taken from the collector side, so this output characteristics is drawn between the collector current and the collector emitter voltage, while the base current is constant. So here you can see that when base current is 0, this region is called the cutoff region, and as we increase this VCE, the collector current after a certain point will becomes almost constant for a constant base current. While increasing the base current and the collector meter voltage, this collector current will also increase. Since collector current is related with base current, by this relation, this IC is equals to beta times of IB. That's why it will also rise. Here you should note that base current is in microampere while the collector current is in milliampere. Now the ratio of the change in this VCE upon the change in the collector current will give the output resistance. Now the next is draw input characteristic of common base configuration. In the common base configuration, base terminal is common to input and output side. Input is given at emitter terminal and output is taken from the collector terminal. So here the input characteristics of common base configuration is drawn between the emitter current and the base emitter voltage for a constant collector base voltage. Now as we increase this VCB, you can see there is a change in, or you can say increase in, the emitter current. Now draw output characteristics of common base configuration, which is drawn in between the collector current and the collector base voltage while the emitter current is constant. So for a constant emitter current, you can see that the collector current will rise in this way. After a certain point, it becomes constant. Why so? Because this collector current is given by this relation IC is equals to alpha times of IE. So alpha is approximately 0.99. So that's why we'll get almost same collector current and emitter current. So before this minus 0.4, this region is saturation region, and after this minus 0.4, the transistor will go into the active region. And while this region where emitter current is 0, this is the cutoff region. Now what is the fixed bias circuit? Here you should always remember that biasing is done to find the operating point that should be in the middle of the load line, which gives high linearity, and also biasing purpose is to make this collector current independent of temperature, and since beta is the temperature dependent factor, so we need that collector current should be independent or at least inverse of the beta. That will give high stability to these amplifier circuits. So this is the purpose of biasing. So this one is the fixed bias circuit, and since we do this biasing to find the operating point, that's why we are removing the all AC factors, and this circuit will transformed into this. Here we are finding the base current, which is very easy to find, VCC minus VBE upon RB, and this VCE, the output voltage is given by VCC minus ICRC. Since this VCE, this saturation voltage is very small, approximately 0.2, so we can ignore this. So this IC saturation current is almost equals to VCC upon RC. And the next bias circuit is emitter stabilized bias circuit. Here the emitter resistance is used at the emitter terminal, and this will, now let's see that how it will affect the base current. So base current is given by VCC minus VBE upon RB plus 1 plus beta RE, and this VCE voltage is given by VCC minus IC RC plus RE. So here the IC saturation current is almost equals to VCC upon RC plus RE. This circuit is more stable than the earlier fixed bias circuit. Next is, what is voltage divider bias circuit? So in the voltage divider bias circuit, the RB resistance is now divided into two, R1 and R2. That's why this base voltage is divided. So this is called voltage divider bias circuit. This is very common amplifier circuit. Now here the base current is given by the Thevenin's voltage minus VBE. This Thevenin's voltage is found at this point. So this Thevenin's voltage minus VBE upon this Thevenin's resistance plus 1 plus beta RE, while the collector emitter voltage will remain same. This side is not changed as we have seen already in the emitter stabilized bias circuit. So that part is same, that IC saturation will remain same. The next bias circuit is voltage feedback bias circuit. Here feedback is given from the collector terminal and to the base. So now the base current is given by the VCC minus VB upon RB plus beta times of RC plus RE. While once again there is no change at the output side, so VCE will remain same, so the IC saturation. Draw small signal hybrid pi model of BJT. This is very important model and it is used in AC analysis. So here we have a small signal input resistance R pi. R pi is given by beta upon Gm, where Gm is the transconductance of the transistor. It is given by IC upon Vt. Vt is thermal volt equivalent. So this VBE is the voltage across the R pi. This VBE can also be represented by V pi. So this is small signal base emitter voltage. Now here the collector current is given by Gm VBE. Since this dependent current source is depending on the voltage VBE, that means we have represented BJT as a voltage controlled current source. This voltage is controlling the current source. And now we can also represent BJT as a current controlled current source if we replace this GMVB with beta IB. So beta IB is equals to GMVB. Except this, nothing is changed. Now next is draw small signal T model of BJT. Here we have used small signal emitter resistance. This emitter resistance is given by Vt upon IE or alpha upon Gm. Vt is once again thermal volt equivalent and Gm is IC upon Vt. And once again here the collector current is given by Gm VBE, where VB is the small signal base emitter voltage. That's why we can say that here BJT is represented as a voltage controlled current source. And equivalently we have current controlled current source where Gm VBE is now replaced by alpha IE. So in this case the Gm VBE is equals to alpha IE. Draw small signal common emitter amplifier. Since we have already seen that how we can draw the hybrid pi model of BJT, so it is not going to be a big task. Let's first see that what is the common emitter amplifier. So this is the common emitter amplifier. Here emitter terminal is grounded and input signal is given at the base. Output is taken from the collector terminal. Since we are going to draw the AC model of this common emitter amplifier, that's why we have removed all the DC sources. And in place of this BJT, we have used hybrid pi model. Look at this carefully. Rest part is same. Nothing is changed. So here this is R pi and the voltage across it is V pi. The input resistance is given by R pi, and at the collector side this is Gm V pi. This dependent current source is depending on voltage V pi, and we have R naught. R naught is the base width modulation resistance. RC is drawn as it is. So the output resistance is the RC parallel RO. Next is what are the BJT internal capacitances? For the high frequency analysis, internal capacitances play major role. So note it down carefully. First is base charging or diffusion capacitances. It is given by this equation, where Gm is the transconductance and we have already seen Gm is given by IC upon Vt. This capacitances arises due to the minority carrier charge stored in the base, where tau f is the forward base transit time. This transit time is the average time a charge carrier spent in crossing the base. The next is base emitter junction capacitance, which is given by this equation. You must be familiar of this equation. We have seen in the diode. So M is usually 0.5. The third one is collector base junction capacitance. Its expression is almost similar to base emitter junction capacitance, but its grading coefficient ranges from 0.2 to 0.5. Now draw high frequency hybrid pi model of BJT, where we are going to use these internal capacitances. So we have used these internal capacitances or we can say the parasitic capacitances. So this C pi is connected between base to emitter terminal, while C mu is connected between base to collector terminal. What are the BJT applications? So BJT are used in amplifiers, switches, filters, high frequency circuits, power amplifiers, communication systems. Now compare common emitter, common base and common collector amplifiers. This question is mostly asked in the interviews. So please pause the video here and take its screenshot, save it and learn it. So first parameter is which is the common terminal. So in common emitter, emitter is common base is common collector, obviously collector is common between input and output. Next is the voltage gain. So common emitter has the moderate and common base also has the moderate voltage gain, while common collector has the lowest voltage gain. It is almost unity. The current gain. So current gain is lowest in the common base configuration, almost unity, while other two configurations have moderate current gain. Input impedance is also lowest in common base, while the common collector has the highest input impedance. Output impedance is lowest in common collector configuration. Now the next is the application. So the common emitter is mostly used in audio amplifier because it provides moderate voltage gain and moderate current gain. That's why in audio amplifier, while the common base configuration is used as pre-amplifier and common collector is used for impedance matching. Compare BJT and diode. Now this table is showing the comparison of BJT and diode. Here BJT has 3 terminals, emitter, base, collector, while diode has 2 terminals. BJT are 2 types, NPN and PNP. There are 2 junctions in BJT, emitter base junction and collector base junction, while diode has only 1 PN junction. BJT is an active device. It can amplify signal, while diode cannot amplify signal. That's why it is passive device. Operation, BJT can perform amplification and switching both, while diode can perform only switching. We have already seen various applications of BJT like electronic switches, amplifiers, oscillators, regulators, etc. While diodes are used in clipping, clamping, rectifiers, voltage multipliers, etc. Next question is compare BJT and MOSFET. So here we have the comparison of BJT and MOSFET. So BJT has 3 terminals while MOSFET has 4 terminals: drain, gate, source and body. Types of BJT we have seen that NPN and PNP, while MOSFET is NMOS or PMOS. Polarity, BJT, this difference is very important. BJT is bipolar device while MOSFET is unipolar device. Controlling quantity, that BJT is known as current controlled current source while MOSFET is voltage controlled current source. Input impedance of BJT is low while MOSFET has very high input impedance. The temperature coefficient in BJT is negative while in MOSFET it is positive. Switching frequency in BJT is low in comparison to MOSFET. Power consumption is also higher in BJT in comparison to MOSFET. Applications, so BJT normally used in amplifiers and high frequency circuits, while MOSFETs are preferred in switching circuits and low power applications. So these are the 30 must know concepts on BJT that you should practice before your electronics interview. Next video will be on 30 must know concepts on MOSFETs that are mostly asked in your electronics interview. So don't miss it. For that, subscribe my channel and share it with your friends. And if you have any suggestion or want to give feedback, then mention it in the comment section. Thank you so much and have a nice day.